Joined Andela on April 2nd, 2018. Before joining Andela, Olaomi's professional career included a 13-year stint at Ericsson, where she started as a mobile telephony engineer, grew to become the first woman to attain the position of regional support manager, responsible for the engineering team servicing mobile operators across Africa. At some point in her career, Olaomi took some time off to take care of her and also work as a grade school teacher at Standard Bearer School, Lekki, where you can all get that information when you Google her. Right. Alright, so thank you. So let's make welcome Olaomi. Thank you. Give her a round of applause. Thank you, Mike. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, in my short time as a tech has been the unique proposition of Angela, which is software, training software engineers. And it's been an area that has never been explored before you guys came, or if it has been, but not at the scale at which you guys did it. I just wanted to give us a background of what it's all about. This Andela project, what is it about?
Thank you, Frank. Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here to discuss with you and hope to learn from you as well. So, like Frank said, my name is Naomi, and yeah, I joined last year. The question you're asking is the same question I had asked when I interviewed for the role. I was really interested in this company that wanted to train 100,000 software developers across Africa. And yes, and the interesting thing is that we all recognize the role of technology in the world today. Whether we like it or not, it is an enabler, and it is a key driver to change. And we believe that it's important for Africa, for our growth as a continent. It's important for our people as well to compete globally if they're able to leverage on technology and use it to solve the problems, to solve global problems, as well as the local problems which we have, in our local communities and on the continent. So that basically has been the passion, which is knowledge transfer, ensuring that Africans are given the same opportunities or have access to the same opportunities in order to help us fix our problems. There are problems that are unique to the continent that if you try to get someone else from a different continent to understand, the person might struggle. I guess everyone who's been up in Nigeria understands what NEPA is. But if you go to New York and you say NEPA, nobody's going to understand that. So basically, it's about empowering Africans to leverage on technology to fix the problems which we have on our continent. That's why we're scaling. That's why we're pushing the knowledge and pushing software development skills across the continent.
A few months or say weeks ago, you guys opened a new hub in Kigali. Yes, so and you mentioned scaling. When you say scaling, how far are you guys going? Are you thinking of opening all the offices in all over Africa?
Well, I would say no for now, and that's because Andela is a very component of distributed working. That's one of the things which we really champion, and that's what we hope to actually drive across the continent, meaning that everyone doesn't have to be in the office all the time to get results. We have distributed team members. For instance, a lot of our team members work from home. I have several engineers in my team. I'm responsible for about 500, more than 500 engineers in Nigeria and Ghana. The team in Ghana is totally remote. They're able to function, they're able to deliver on their projects and tasks with their global partners. So for us, we don't really believe that we need to have everybody in center to be able to meet, to be able to excel. And we need to understand that in Africa, at the moment, there are challenges in infrastructure. We talk about people coming in late because there's traffic, it's rained, and all of that. So with distributed working, people are able to still work, able to interact with their colleagues and workmates and still get things done without having to sit in one location. Yeah, so we're pushing more distributed working.
I was also going to ask, what does it take to be an Mandela or to get into Mandela? Yes.
The interesting thing is, Mandela is a place where we believe so much in values. I know that everyone talks about software development, but we realize that you need to have the right values and the right skills to be able to maximize whatever you learn. So, to be Mandela, you need to have the right attitude. You need to have the right aptitude as well, the skills. So for us, we have put together different initiatives to help people who want to come to Andela. We have the Andela Learning Community, for instance. We have internal and external initiatives. Some of our internal initiatives include the Team Code Africa. So the Team Code Africa basically, with the Team Code Africa, we leverage the knowledge and skills of our internal developers, and they work with high school students in different schools and help them develop an interest in computer science and software programming. So that's an example of an internal initiative. Now, in terms of external initiatives, meaning that for people who are outside Andela and want to come in, we have things like the ELC, the Andela Learning Community, and these are basically, the initiative is about promoting learning communities across the tech ecosystem within Africa, encouraging people to come together in groups to learn, to gain the skills which can allow them to be able to come up with solutions to some of the problems which we face as humans, not just Africa. So we hope to encourage people, and what we've done in the past is we've seen people who have excelled, in some of these initiatives, and we've brought them into the organization. They've come in through our fellowship program, and now we're actually opening up more entry paths or entryways into Andela. Previously, we just had the fellowship and the senior developer or senior engineer recruitment program. But now we're allowing we're opening pathways for software programmers and developers from, whether you're really expert or, you've got some experience or you're mid-level. So we're opening up different phases or different places, different paths for people to come into the company. So it's not too hard. The most important thing is to have the right attitude, being willing to learn, being willing to collaborate with others, because that's really big here. I had a dinner with some new developers yesterday, and a particular young man, he said, times I'm at home before I joined Andela, a problem I would try to solve for like 2 days or a week, I realized I've been here. After 5 minutes and I'm struggling, I just walk up to somebody else and say, hey, have you seen this problem before? Can you help me? So according to him, after a month, he's been able to learn so much, because the kind of things that would give him nightmares and he spent days thinking about, he's able to leverage on the knowledge and experience of other software developers. And one of the things which we've also tried to do is to also encourage our software developers to learn as much as they can from the global teams in which they are placed. So for instance, you will have software developers from Nigeria, Rwanda, and other places working on global teams with global organizations. So they're not just working with the best developers in Africa, they're also working with the best developers in the US and other locations, and able to learn from them. So joining Mandela, you need to have the right attitude, and then you need to have the right aptitude. Competence, learning software development, learning the skills, yes, that can be learned. But then the most important thing is those values, we call them our epic value, which is excellence. Always seeking to be excellent in everything you do. Collaboration, passion. You need to have passion for the work, because software development is backbreaking. I don't know whether you've ever worked with software developers. Sometimes they're there for hours, and then you need to have integrity, because it's important that to set yourself apart, to stand out from the crowd. You need to have integrity in the way you do your work, in your approach to your task, in how you do things, and then also collaboration, because whatever you're building, whatever software product you're delivering or solution, you're not writing it for yourself, you're writing it for others, and you need to leverage on the skills and competence as well as experience of other people.
So we're going to open the floor for everyone who has a question. But before you ask, let me just ask this final question. Say, I'm a new person. I want to apply to Andela. Do I need the knowledge of mathematics, or maybe become an engineer before I apply to Andela? What do I need to get a foot in the door?
Okay, I would say you don't need to have a degree in mathematics or computer science. We have people in Andela, we have someone in Kenya who used to be a fisherman. We have people who studied agriculture, medicine. Yes, he used to fish. And we have farmers, people who farm. They have farms and they run farms, and they're software developers. So the most important thing is that passion, being willing to learn, and being willing to learn by yourself. You don't necessarily need to be in a classroom with someone teaching you, but being able to sit down, and learn and relearn and keep developing yourself. So that passion is very important. And to join, basically and then we have basic open source materials, which are online, and they're accessible through the Andela Learning community, so people can expose themselves to some of the materials there. I believe there's a home study curriculum. Yes, so people can take advantage of those materials, start learning on their own. The best software developers we have today did not learn these skills in the university. Many of them were coding in their bedrooms. We have women who were coding in between, being on maternity leave or taking care of kids. So familiarize yourself with these materials as soon as you can, and then also leverage on the learning community out there. And the good thing about leveraging on learning others or collaborating with others is you start to expose yourself to different projects and activities. You start to work on different tasks, things that you can show to say, oh, this is my work, I did this. So once one is able to do that, you can now decide what works for you, whether you want to come in through the fellowship. The fellowship affords you a 6-month program where you're able to learn various things. There's the simulation and the apprenticeship phase, and then also you learn other things apart from software development. You learn key skills that you need to survive in a team: leadership, collaboration, communication, how to give feedback. So you get all of that through the fellowship program. For software developers who have experience, who've worked in other organizations and different industries, who want to come in, there's also, and that's why we launched the Power of X initiative. So that's available. They can just apply directly online through the website, and they can join. Yeah.
All right, so you have a question? So let's see your hand. Anyone with a question? Okay.
Thank you, that was very interesting. Can you talk a little bit about your gender balance here, Angela, and what you're doing to get more women to become software engineers?
Should we just take the questions and then, all right?
My name is Olajumoke. I want to ask, what part of your career so far has been most relevant to this group?
Any other questions? Okay, so that's about it. 2 questions. All right.
Thank you.
All right, the first question about gender balance. So in Andela, we believe in providing equal opportunities to everyone. We are a gender-free, race-free environment. So when we're recruiting, when we're selecting people to join us, we do not use gender as a criteria for filtering out people. And as a matter of fact, we have quotas. We have a quota for women. We try to encourage women to join. For instance, at some point in time, we had a all-women cycle, which was basically dedicated to encouraging women to come in as software developers. So we're always excited when we see women or people from any race, any gender come in and join us. We have, for instance, even within the fellowship, we have people from different walks of lives and cultures and religions, and we try to accommodate as much as we can. For instance, let me tell you how much I love Mandela. So it's the Muslim fasting season, and normally we get served lunch. But over there by the shelf, we have food that has been kept aside for the Muslims when they're ready to break their fast. And we are one of the things which we really preach within Andela is tolerance. Tolerance and respect for other people's gender, for other people's opinion, for other people's orientation, for other people's race. So it's never an issue. And this is really relevant, especially when we are working on a global team, you know. So it's something which we really promote. And what are we doing to get more women in? We're really actively looking for women to join us within Andela. And like I mentioned, we have the all-women cycle. We also, within the learning communities, we look out for women who show keen interest and who, you know, are ready to put in the work to come join us as well. And then the last question, which is, what part of my career is most relevant to this job? Maybe I should confess to you, I had the team, the partner delivery team, and what my team basically does is we're able to meet and exceed our partners' expectations. And when I mean partners, I'm talking about our clients. So we call our clients our partners. We don't see them as people who we just render a service to. We see them as, you know, co-collaborators rather. So I had that team in Nigeria and Ghana, but I have a secret to share with you. I'm not a software developer. Yes. So, and it shows how robust Andela is. For me, I believe the skill which has helped me most in this role has been my ability to somehow manage engineering teams. I started up as an electrical engineer, and I worked as a mobile telephony engineer with Ericsson for several years. But after that, one of the things which I did was to work on different engineering teams. And it made me realize that more than technical competence, for things to work, you need to have, you know, that spirit of collaboration, spirit of stakeholder management. Because at the end of the day, if you're writing a fantastic code or a solution for someone, if you're unable to communicate with that person, if you're unable to manage expectations, if you're unable to collaborate with the person, you might not get as much value as you've hoped. So I've realized that managing people is a key skill. Technology skills, technical skills are fantastic, but whether you like it or not, the bulk of the solutions, the bulk of the problems which you have today are people problems. And you need to learn to manage people, learn to work with people to be able to solve these problems. So I would say that people skills, team skills have really helped me more than even technical skills. Technical skills you can learn, but people skills take a long time and they take deliberate effort. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Please give her a round of applause. Thank you. All right. So we go to the panel proper. All right. First of all, you're going to bear with me. Those I'm going to call to the panel. We only have a mic, so we're going to be sharing. All right. It's a Millennial Hangout, of course. All right. So I'm going to be reading out your citation, starting with Uchechi Nwa Ukwa. Is the Chief Technology Officer of Signal Alliance. Uchechi graduated from the University of Nigeria with a BSc in Computer Science and has 13 plus years of experience in enterprise technology, cloud solutions, and data center services. He directs the company's strategic direction, development, and future growth while providing leadership to members of his team in a fashion that supports the company's culture, mission, and values. I'm taking time to read out their citation because some of the questions they're going to answer are going to be in line with what they are doing currently. Prior to joining Signal Alliance, Uchechi worked as a cloud solutions architect at Microsoft and head data center global services at the United Bank for Africa. Please, let's welcome Uchechi. Next is Chinedu Obidiegu. He's the marketing and community lead for Luno Nigeria. His career in the fintech sector includes championing projects like Cashless Nigeria, while working on electronic business solutions in multiple capacities, including marketing, design, and product management. Chinedu believes it's time for Africa to leverage a better financial system. Let's welcome Chinedu. Give him a round of applause. Thank you. All right, next is Nana Anna. She is the founder of Nesta Global Solutions Service, a Nigerian-based tech company that started out with a need to create solutions within the Nigerian logistic ecosystem. She's an entrepreneur who's passionate about the development of our nation's economy. Nana has no prior experience or study of information technology, but she's passionate about creating efficiency in businesses through process. So through process automation, she's determined to change the analog ways of operations by adopting the use of technology to bring transparency and automation in business. Let's welcome Nana. Thank you. Last but not the least is Morenike Da Silva. She's a wealth management expert and the managing director of Cordros Asset Management Limited. At Cordros Capital, performance is what defines us. That's Cordros. Similarly, they understand that your goals, situation, and ambitions are what defines you. So let's welcome Morenike. Give her a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Okay. So I've got some able men here. Now I'm talking about it. I want to have to flex a little bit. All right. Starting out with, I'm going to start with Nana. Okay. I'm starting with Nana because of a question I wanted to ask, and that's about what does a Nigerian founder, tech founder, look like? I mean, you have tech founders across the world, you know, in countries where things work, where ease of doing business is very easy. And then you have countries where the economy is booming, but here you have founders in Nigeria, tech founders in Nigeria, and they are having to put up with a lot of things. So I want to just share with us, what does it mean to be a founder in Nigeria?
Thank you for having me. Being a tech founder, like you called it, basically is finding a solution to a problem and being able to see it through using technology. As it states, in a tech founder, you have a problem, you solve it using technology.
How difficult, how easy can it be working in a country like Nigeria?
You read my bio, and you said that I was very passionate about Nigeria and how things are being done. Well, we could all sit here and complain that things are how they are in Nigeria, or we could pick up our bags and do something about it, which is what I did. I had no prior experience about technology, but I had a problem and I knew I needed solutions to it. And the only solution was tech, which I adopted. And so far, the value and the vision is always greater than the challenge. So that's what keeps us going.
Thank you. Okay, so moving on to Uchechi. Uchechi, you're going to tell us a little bit of your story in the tech industry. I see here you computer science. You've got just about 13 plus years of experience in enterprise technology. So tell us your story coming into this space, what you have found over the years, and how it has evolved for you.
Yeah, thanks. So, I don't think my tech career is basically like I graduated from school, and then I picked up a CV, and then I went looking for a job. That wasn't my case. So my case was kind of, I started technology like far back as a teenager. So I finished school. That was junior secondary school. So, and I was basically at home and I started coding. I had a senior brother that was already in computer science in the university then. So it was kind of a learning curve for me, and I had folks that brought me in books from the US. So that's how I started. So it's been kind of from being a developer to then I graduated and then had a couple of companies on here in Lagos. Because one thing that stands out, if you know what you're doing, you don't need to go seek who will employ you. So I was called to Lagos and then I had an interview. And then that's how I started. I worked in a couple of local companies. Then I moved into telecommunication. It's a long journey from telecommunications. I ran off to IBM. I've always had bosses that would call me and say, "Come take up a role." So I ran off to IBM, jumped off of IBM, wanted just a taste of the banking sector. I wanted to know what are these guys really doing. I'm very inquisitive. What are they doing by 11 p.m. in the night? So I just wanted to know why is technology so difficult for them. So I got in did like 3 years, just sorting out UBA's technology challenges, and then moved on to Microsoft. So the whole idea was this. I've always had an indigenous mindset, so I wanted to have kind of a multinational experience that can be leveraged indigenously. So moving from IBM so it's a long story of so many companies and secondments and all over the place. Worked in about 38 companies, working for Microsoft. Just doing technology architecture for these companies. And that's how it is. Technology is the same everywhere. The same thing Andela is doing here is what they are doing in the US. There's nothing different. So that's how it's made. So if you know what you're doing, thing is what is applied.
Thank you very much. So moving on to Chinedu now, there are many tech companies that are just starting, and some of them find themselves in environments where they are practically the ones bringing in the innovation. Okay, I'm saying that because you work for a blockchain company, a cryptocurrency company, and that product many years ago was literally new.
Okay, so it had to take time to convince people to buy into it. Tell us what it was like trying to convince people that this thing was real.
All right. Hello, everybody. I think first thing I need to start by saying, I think I was one of the people that also required convincing, that, the blockchain technology was worth its salt, because I haven't been in the space, for too long. But I can tell historically, from um, being with Luno and then just seeing where it come from. So just to start with, Luno started out as a different company, switchless, trying to build like a blockchain solution for one of the biggest banks in Africa. And then the founders decided, the banks and the big money, they're taking their time because which is basically cryptocurrency, and so that's how BTX, which is turned to Luno, was born. About convincing people, in a nutshell, that's my job here in Nigeria. Getting people to know the brand, what it is, and then the use cases. And we're not there yet at all. We're not there yet. I think it's the one question that we still get, till tomorrow. What happens with it is different environment, different countries, different regions take cryptocurrency, which I'm going to focus more on rather than the blockchain technology. Take it for what it is and apply it to their situation. So a typical example, Nigeria. So I had worked in the payment space, with the banks, build solutions, and from the time when we would go knocking and begging merchants and businesses to own POSs, to receive payments in an easier, safer way, to the time when and of course they were for free, to now when you can barely go to any business that receives payment that doesn't own some form of electronic payment solution. So for Nigeria, we're pretty advanced. We're doing pretty okay, in terms of payments beyond the issues that you have, with infrastructure and all that, which is general. So in Nigeria, the use case, is different from research that we've done 2017, 18, and then even earlier this year. The biggest use on our platform, is still using cryptocurrency as a form of investment, and then of course the trading side of things which people do, but still, it solves issues like cross-border payments. And one of the things we like to talk about, especially for us, is how we make it easy and safe to make payments, because that's two things that people are really concerned about. Is this thing safe? Is it real? Most people got introduced to Bitcoin and the likes through, Ponzi schemes and all of that. So people still have a lot of bad blood. There's been a lot of misinformation. I'll end with this. The reality is everything evolves and money is not left behind, right? Money has gone from barter to coin and metal, coins, paper notes, electronic, digital forms of money, and we strongly believe that cryptocurrency is the next natural evolution. The same way, sending messages have gone from posts to a simple email or even a chat. We believe that money is also becoming simpler, and the modern individual today needs things to happen at the click of a button, and then even, I mean, like things are getting crazy now where people are even just trying to do things at the speed of a thought, without even having to lift a finger. So for us, we're trying to just usher in that next generation or that next form of money that makes it easier to make payments across the globe, receive remittance. I mean, remittance numbers for Nigeria stood at about $25 billion for last year. The year before 22, so that's like a $3 billion increase, at somewhere between 7 to 15% charge for every time you need to make those kind of payments. But with cryptocurrency, it can happen a lot faster, a lot cheaper, and we're trying to make it convenient for people to be able to receive that fund securely and easily gain value from it.
Thank you very much. Okay, so now to Morenike. There are businesses their business depends solely on technology, and then there are those who leverage technology to deliver their services. And I guess that's where Codrus falls into. I want to ask you, what does technology mean to Codrus Asset Management?
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. For Codrus Asset Management, basically we're a financial services company, and we have, ordinarily the financial services industry has moved from tally number to deposit slips. Now everyone wants to eat from the pile. I have, at the click of a finger, like he said, I'm able to do any form of transaction from the comfort of my home or my office. So in terms of investment, which is where we then sit, we try to ensure that a secured platform is what we provide to investors or potential investors to be able to securely put their funds away. And what we preach is understanding the concept, the difference between savings and investments, such that when you understand those concepts, you're able to decipher what money is moving to where and how. So you're moving funds to an asset management company should be funds for investments. If you're moving funds or leaving funds behind in your bank account, then that is for savings, your emergency funds, your go-to funds. And for example, with me, I have both current and savings. And we all understand how fraudsters are all over the place. I was with an uncle who is an AIG in the police, and for him to be telling me he was getting debit alerts from Dublin here. And I said to him, well, I was making fun of him, like, if as a law enforcement person, you're not respected in that space, then whose money is safe? So typically, I don't leave money in my current account. And I ensure that my bank did not link my debit card to my savings account. So if I need to do any transaction, I will move money to my current account and into my transaction. So I only leave funds that emergency buy fuel, snacks and all of that in an account I run. Or money for investment where I know, come what may, it's far away in an investment account. So because we want to let people, back in the days, our parents and most of us were used to, the only form of investment here in Nigeria that people were comfortable with was the treasury bill. Now Nigeria has gone far beyond just treasury bills. Alternative investments are coming through fixed income, equities and all of that. So we're trying, in Codrus, for example, we have platforms for these different solutions. And we don't call them because they're solutions to a particular investment need. And you're trying to help an investor meet or mitigate that problem. So we have platforms for regular fixed income solutions, and then you have platforms for equity trading. So we understand that for our business to succeed, technology must be very, very, must be 100%. For example, on our trading platform for equities, we have the trade button. So that allows people, retail clients, from the comfort of your home, send your execution requests for us at the back end to treat your transactions. And for those who want to do other fixed income kind of investments, you can go online, do your subscription. If you want to invest afresh, you can subscribe to any form of investment from the website. If you also, we've gone a step to be able to provide a platform where you might want to give someone an investment. So for example, you have your kids or your nephew, your niece, your cousin, someone who's just put to bed, and you rather than give cash, give a gift, so a gift voucher. So the money doesn't go to the parents. And you know how it is, those who are parents here, where they give your kids money, you take the funds and say, oh no, I spent so much on you, and then you take the funds and divert it into something else. Now with the gift voucher, I'm just coming to you with a gift voucher, put it in an envelope, in the name of the child. So you have an option than to inculcate that investment habit. And Kodos has gone a step ahead to be able to meet with schools. Now we have this initiative where you want to catch them young. Many of us, I'm sure you understand the concept of investment so early. All we just knew was money. So someone comes, gives, remember when we were younger, they'll come, they give you 1,000, 2,000, and then you're supposed to share it by your age. So it's paper money. But if someone had come and given us gift vouchers, investment vouchers, then our parents would not have an option than to invest. So now we're going to the roots, we're going to primary schools, secondary, and making them understand that this is the time to teach these kids the concept of investment and understand that when people give you money, you just don't take and go and spend. Now, we had a conversation with someone the other day, and she mentioned that growing up, her father, I think she's somewhere here, her father would give her money, pocket money to school, and he saw this thing in her life that I don't think will depart from her and her generations to come through her. So your father gives you money, maybe your pocket money is 10,000, and has encouraged you that whatever you're able to save off that money, and this I think is something we as parents, those of us who are parents here, should adopt. Whatever you're able to save from that money, the next term you're going back to school, it will be doubled. So now you begin to let your kids become prudent. And have you realized, for those who have kids or younger ones, when you give children money and tell them to spend, they don't spend. They come back to you and want to feed off you. Because free money has no value. Who agrees with me? Free money has no value. Money you didn't work for, you can spend it, who cares? But if I gave you and I said, you have to work for this money, even if it's barber job, and then you earn it. If I tell you spend from it, you're going to think twice. So, Kodos from its own end, creating different investment platforms using our tech ideologies to drive. We're going the route now through our Kodos Digital Village platform, where you can open your account on your phone, do your download, signature, everything right there, open your account, and you're good to go. So on the spot, if I want to put you on the spot, I'm just going to tell you, log on to that place and start to invest your money now. Right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So moving on, one of the biggest challenge of the tech business and any other business is the millennials' tendency to move around. So you employ them, and before 6 months or 1 year, they're gone. And so this is between you and this is Uchechi and Monique. This is your question. I want to ask how you have been able to manage the millennials that you employ, okay, and been able to keep them. Did you use incentive? What did you use to keep them? What can people here learn from your experience?
So, I've always loved millennials. I think they're great people to work with. So the first thing you need to understand about the work environment is that the manager creates the environment. So the brand doesn't matter. It could be anything. But the manager creates the environment that either defines whether I can walk in there if I'm a millennial or I want to go out. So the first thing I do is understand what the millennial loves. They love to play, they love fun, so you have to find a culture that encourages fun. Let me explain that. In Signal Alliance, when I started off in the company, I told them to strip off the old school dressing mode. So millennials don't like that. Millennials want sporty dressing. You could be responsible and sporty at the same time. So that kind of brought in a whole lot of great people into the company. So the next thing we did was to build the millennials' future into the future of the company. There's one great thing that Microsoft does. So Microsoft will tell you, okay, you have a target to deliver this projects, and let's say this is about $100,000. They tell you that as per milestone, you would be incentivized per milestone, as opposed to when I sell the product. So they give you a visual meter that shows what you've earned per milestone. And then, so that's one of the things I introduced. So they could actually go on the portal and then see exactly what they've achieved and what that counts for them as incentive in their salary. So this was just signed in last week. So it took a whole lot of convincing. In Nigeria, it takes a lot of convincing to get that kind of thing. So the guy knows his future is secure. Now, the third thing you need to know about millennials is that they have strength. So you need to be able to intelligently channel the strength towards the right direction. And it's very easy for a millennial to be distracted. Very, very easy. So you could just come in the morning with a nice cologne and they get distracted. So one thing we do is to distract them with technology. So aside my normal projects that I tell you, okay, do this, I went into game programming. I went into things like graphics programming and all that. So that's what they want to see. So we make the cost of the environment. I have a very old chairman. So he's been running this company for 23 years. So he has no time for that kind of thing. So what we do is that we create things like massage rooms, things like that, where millennials could just go relax and have a nice massage. So those are the things that keep these guys around. And now you also need to do a level of peering for millennials. If a millennial is working with an old guy, with time he will resign. It's granted. An old guy doesn't mean old in number of years. No, that's not what I'm talking about. You have to have a mindset of the millennial. In my team, which is the technology team of the company, we've been able to go to like 6-7 African countries and around about 125 people remotely, and about 70-something people directly reporting to me. So these guys, one of the things I do is that I like to listen to them. So they tell you about what happened on Instagram today. And they tell you Something like the last one I had was Onions in China. So you need to know what's going on. Yeah, you need to be able to relate with them. And the last thing I do is give them engulfing work. Engulfing. So engulfing in the sense that they have a lot of strength and they are easily distracted. So the only thing that can keep them seated at a point is engulfing work, and programming is one of them. So when they get engulfed, they get quiet, you see the ingenuity in a young mind. You see, these guys are gold minds. You just can't neglect them. They're wonderful. If you have the right team, and you have the right environment, and you have the right incentives, and you have the right future for Millennial, he will stay. Now, that doesn't mean that there won't be staff attrition. You have to be ready for that. People have to move on. I moved on a lot in life. So some of the companies, if you go through my CV, you'll see about 9 companies. So I was just hopping around. That's not a good thing to do. But the thing is, I use my story to tell them why they shouldn't do it. Meeting business objectives. Technology on its own is, to me, basically bullshit if it doesn't meet any vision. There has to be a strategic plan that a company is trying to achieve that technology fits into. So whoever does it doesn't matter. As much as you want to retain your people, you have to be nimble enough to understand that people have to move on. So when it happens, you don't just go whipping up yourself and have your tail in between your legs. You just have to find a way to replace what has been lost and replace it in a better way. So that's how it's going on.
So, to you now.
Okay, millennials, I think for me, I'm an extended millennial, and my team, they're here, and they made faces at me as soon as that question came through. Because many times when they air, I'm sure they're waiting, they expect that I will well this stick, but because they're not able to read where she's going to come from, I might come out joking about it, but you will get the message. So we play a lot. Because I understand, and because growing up, being the first, I had a lot of younger ones around me. So it was very easy. And so trying to bend them beyond who they are will make them become who they're not supposed to be. So I listen to them a lot. Many times when I say certain things, and I'm sure someone like Ifoma is here, ready to be, they come out asking, because they think I'm old, how is she able to understand, or how did she get this gist, but because you need to keep them close, you have to know what they like, you have to be able to speak their language, you have to be able to, so I try and mother them, but I try to, make them understand there must be a line. And understanding what you should be able to tell them in terms of guidance, in terms of encouraging words, in terms of when they air you chastise. And I don't shout. I'll just tell you in a very subtle manner, but you get the message. Sometimes, there was a time they were all naughty on the team. And I'm not the one that will come in and I'm raising the roof. It just went, good morning, good evening. And for 1 week, that was how we rolled. I guess they got uncomfortable, and they went to their team lead and reported that something is wrong. Morenike, it doesn't look she's normal. She's acting very strange. She hasn't said anything to anyone. So I don't go the route of you trying to wring their neck. I don't have to say anything, but they got the message. And after 1 week, we all made up. But in terms of keeping them, like he explained, some of them are bound to take their decisions. You have to respect. But sometimes they come um, wanting your guidance. I'm about to take this decision. What do you think? And I know of two people. One took the decision and was happy with it. The other one, she took the decision, but she regrets it. So you allow them, grow, make your mistakes, and learn. And for me, part of my mantra is learn, unlearn, and relearn. Such that when you make those mistakes, what I tell myself is, what's the lesson? Don't whip yourself. Understand what the lesson to be learned is, and move on. And I think on my team, I have about four of them, but they're sight to behold. But more on the company as a whole, we have more millennials. I'm able to interact at any level. I'm asking them questions that sometimes throw them off their feet. They probably come trying to say one thing, and I'm asking them, so how's your boyfriend? Or how's your girlfriend? And then they're wondering, what's she up to? But if you don't ask, it's when they start to have problems, they keep it to themselves, and then it starts to affect productivity. And rather than drag the work back, it's best to be involved as much as you can, but then also provide that platform that, look, we're all here to work, we're professional colleagues, but we'll try and take things beyond the office just to make sure that you understand that it's one big family. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, please, let's give them a round of applause again. Thank you. Okay, this question goes to Nana. You are in logistics. You're providing technology in the logistics sector. And the way I understand that sector is that the barrier to entry is usually very high. Am I correct? Barrier to entry to logistics is very high, isn't it? Not really. Okay. So, but here's still my question. My question is, in case there's somebody here who's starting out a tech company in a sector where the barrier is that elevated, how do you go about it to start that business? And how do you ensure that that business doesn't die in, say, 6 months or 1 year because you're trying to do everything you want to sustain it?
Okay, before going into any business, I will always say, know your market. Once you know your market and you understand needs, and you are focused in delivering what they desire, you never run out of ideas. I started logistics. I started the business doing it the manual way. How did I start logistics business? I had a bad delivery, and I am one to fix things. And I don't know. I rather face problems than run away from problems. It's like, so I can do better. Why is this thing so difficult to handle? And I went into it. I identified the market immediately. And now going into it, instead of, I wasn't, honestly, looking for how to conquer Lagos or take everywhere. I just wanted to provide an excellent service. Because like I said, I had a bad delivery and I didn't want that to happen to another person. And in the search of providing value for it, that's what led me to technology, because I wanted something more excellent than what I had. I had the business for about 4 years now. I recently introduced technology last year into it, and so far so good. It's been amazing. And I started with one product, NetApp POD, which was basically for just logistic companies. And now we've been able to, because I've been focused on the problem and solving it, I've been able to drag the merchants and the customers into it by building platforms now for e-commerce businesses to help, with the logistic companies, just kind of linking everybody together. And honestly, our board is still full of taxes that we have to add. Every day I speak to a customer, I see a reason why I should do something better. So the value never runs out. If you have the clear markets, you always have, and they have needs, you always have, and you have the right team to take it there. You just keep providing fantastic service with
Thank you very much. So this is my final question before the audience get to pitch in the question. And it goes to you, Chinedu. Luno has about 3 million customers. And for me, I just have to imagine what it's like being there and people are calling you from left, right, and center. So my question is, how do you manage customer expectations? I mean, different places from different countries, different states, from Ocean State, from Lagos State, from everywhere. They're calling you, how far with my mobile, how far with my Bitcoin, how far with this one, and all that. How do you manage that customer expectation?
All right. Okay, so the nearly 3 million customers is our global customer base, right? But from the onset, we've always thought globally. So the idea is we have like a long-term plan to upgrade like 1 billion people now to a new financial system. Now, when you have that kind of plan, you start building, your processes. You start thinking, how do we handle 1 billion customers and still show each of them love that they deserve. So we have these mentalities, which is basically the culture that drive Luno, about 10 of them. And the number one is we love our customers. And customers goes from the staff internally down to the users of our platform. Now we're a tech business. Every interaction with Luno is basically via a tech platform. And so our customer service is also built to follow that same idea. So we have like a distributed customer service setup, from all around the country, just so that we have 24/7 help. And then we also recently, worked on the live chat situation. So we don't necessarily interact with everybody one-on-one, because it means you would have to basically hire like a whole country to manage that when we get to where we're trying to go to. So we use technology in itself to manage, to work with our customers. But what we do to make sure that and then for us, everybody is in customer success anyways. And so we try to build the product, we try to make updates, modifications, improvements to the product to make sure that, 95% of the time, that you're interacting with our platform via mobile or web, that you do not have any need to, you do not require support, irrespective of your standards, your learned levels or whatever. That the solution is we say it's simple, easy, and safe. So we try to make it easy. We're always iterating, always doing something to make sure that customer journey, that journey to crypto is as simple as possible, happens in as few clicks as possible. So we measure all these things and we hold ourselves to really high standards to make sure that the experience on the platform, customers just leave, loving it. And so one of the things that we also like to just check out is what customers are saying about us, on the app stores and the rest. And that also just drives us, lets us know what we're doing. So in a nutshell, we listen to customers, we design the product and modify, improve the product, not just based on how we feel, but based on feedback and what the customer is saying. And it's been pretty good. So.
Thank you. So the questions that's rolling in. Okay, so I can see some hands. All right, let's start with the lady.
Good evening. First of all, I've been moving my seat. Okay, so I'm all about youth empowerment, and I worked as a HR assistant, and you know how the university sector is in this country. It's mostly theory. It's rarely practical. So you're learning one thing in the classroom, but then you graduate and you're going for an interview with your second class upper, your first class upper, and it's like you don't know anything. And working as a HR assistant, I learned that most companies they don't offer training. They just want experience because you know how the economy is. The economy now is not how the economy was before. So my question is, do you guys have like training? There's something about you go to schools, secondary schools, but do you guys have training for people like graduates? Because there are very few graduate training graduate programs apart from all these bank jobs and all those things. Do you guys have like training measures for graduates? Because if you notice the amount of graduates now that are into hair business and into and like you said, we're very smart, do you get? But we're not utilizing it well. That's why you have cases like Yahoo and people being confident to say we should go into Yahoo. So things like this, I hope you got my question.
So who can take that question?
Okay, so thank you. For us at Coders, we just recently graduated a set of, we onboarded a set of trainees, and I think this was a set of 10. So we understand the passion of trying to educate and imbibe certain knowledge. For example, I know you said in the banks. When I started in the bank, a training program was 1 year. 1 full year. You will train, you had, literally it was about 6 weeks in your training location. So this, okay, work this way. You had 6 weeks at a particular location you've been posted out to, and then you're coming back to training school for 1 week. You did that for 1 full year. But within 2 or 3 years, Nigerian economy started to deviate and was going south. And I guess organizations started to recalibrate. But I don't think that it's appropriate that it's shelved completely. At Codros, where I work, we take training very squarely. We may not have the grandiose training program sent you to Harvard and all of that, but we do mini trainings and also internal trainings. We have something we call the breakfast learning session, where on a bi-weekly basis, different topics are brought through. And but from your perspective of onboarding graduates, it's an annual thing that the Codros, we call it the Codros Academy, where people, graduates of different background, are brought together and they go through a recruitment process and then onboarded into the training academy.
So how we're going to do this later is we take all the questions and then you just give us the question.
Okay. This is for you, sir. I don't know your name. Okay. You mentioned about you hopping around a lot during your working days and how you now you don't advise for that. You've told a lot of your mentees and your employees that that's not advisable. So you didn't share with us why you think that is not okay. Like for a lot of young people to hop around jobs because they feel like it's cool or it's okay.
Okay, so you keep that in mind. All right.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Terry. My question is to Luno. So I just want to know the first time of hearing about Luno. So now, well, he's doing what? How he's doing what in Nigeria. So my question is like, what is the adoption of Luno in Nigeria, and how well can you advise millennials to invest in cryptocurrencies and gain a higher returns on investments in the near future? So that is my question. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Teresi. I'd like to know, my question goes to Codros. I'd like to know, with the financial literacy, maybe literacy in Nigeria, the type of knowledge we have in Nigeria, I think I see a lot of opportunity for Codrus because I am a customer, proud customer of Codrus anyways. So I'd like to know, I actually came here because of Codrus. So I'd like to know if you guys are tapping into that opportunity as much as it is, because I'm a marketing communication expert and I understand that in that cadre of business, there are still so many Nigerians unbanked. There are still so many, like I was telling one of your staffs, people, young guys, young girls, earning 100,000, 150,000, 200,000. They are my friends, and the next thing that they think of is, after I get a land, I just get a bag and a shoe, so far I'm fine, and I can go out. So, not because of the fact that they are educated, they might still be financially literate, so pardon my French. So that's for that. Then for the tech guys, I'm not that techie, so I'd like to know, data as an issue in Nigeria, how are you guys working with, because of course, whatever the Bureau of Statistics is giving us might necessarily not be totally true. So how are you guys working in between data and getting your acts together? Thank you.
Okay, so next.
Good evening. So my name is Lucky. My question is for Chinedu. Yeah. So it's very cool that Luno has morphed into this giant crypto wallet, and they've been able to help Nigerians solve this issue of getting cryptocurrencies and paying to fund their wallets. So I see, as a millennial, I see Luno as the Coinbase of Nigeria or Africa. But my problem is that why is it that since Luno started, you just have, you've not listed more tokens or more projects. So is there a process? We see lots of projects coming out in the crypto space. Is there a process of listing projects? How do you list new projects? Especially when we have projects springing out from Nigeria and Africa. We have some guys in the tech space that are kind of working on projects. So are there processes of listing projects on your account? Do you charge for new projects? And secondly, in the community, there was a time when people complained mostly about the fees of sending Bitcoin to another account. So is Luno doing anything to scrape the fee? No, I don't know. So, so what can you say about that? And finally, what are you doing to fund companies that are teaching about cryptocurrencies, or companies that are springing up to spread this mission or this vision of crypto down here in Africa? So I'd like you to tell us how. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Charles. So my question goes to Chinedu from Luno. So I started using Luno like last year, early last year, right? So I started buying Bitcoin and Ethereum from Luno. However, I've stopped using Luno, and it's because of one reason. I couldn't buy like other tokens from Luno, right? So basically I just use Luno to just get Bitcoin, then transfer to another exchange, then buy my tokens from there. And the same story is very rampant across a lot of Nigerians that are investing in Bitcoin and Ethereum. So my question to you is, how do you plan to retain your customer base, right? Because the main reason why people, like I know that use Luno, they use it is because there's this kind of blanket over Nigeria, right? And I cannot buy Bitcoin or Ethereum from other exchange. Once you are from Nigeria, they won't sell to you again, right? So for instance, if Binance tomorrow should release like a patch and allow me to buy from their exchange, right, I'll probably stop using Luno, and a lot of my friends too will stop using Luno, right, because it's better, right? And as you mentioned, the exchange fees are very, very high. So when you're transferring money, like say 100K, then you're looking at maybe 10K gone in fees, and you're already at a loss. So buying is already very, very crazy, right? So how do you plan to like move from where you are right now to just selling Bitcoin and Ethereum to offering better services for long-term customers like us?
So we just have a last question. That's last question, all right? Hallelujah. Okay, I'm whipped. All right, so we'll come back for the three of you. All right, so that will be the last, all right? So
have all gotten questions? Do you have one question?
So the question she talked about was, my name is Uchi, by the way. As what are the ills of moving around? So I'll answer that from my experience. So there are two things that happen. You become exposed. That's the first thing. And you become very exposed. So before I get to the ills. And people are no longer looking for experience. No. Nobody sets out for experience. That's old school story. So people are looking for exposure. I could work for 1 year carrying files around in a ministry, and then I could work for 20 years carrying files around in a ministry in Abuja and be able to make no significant difference in a company more than a millennial that has just 6 months experience. In fact, when you get into my interview session and you are stressing too much on experience, I get very uneasy. Because I think you're trying to use number of years to cover of competency on the job. So I hire exposure. I tell HR, come off it. This is it. We don't, okay, so let's leave it there. Then the second thing, the second side to it is that if you're in the tech industry in Nigeria is like a national cult. Everybody knows everybody. So if you mention Uche Microsoft now, if and you just mention it, Uche Microsoft, to anybody working in the streets that has something to do with techie, they will definitely tell you they know the guy. Okay. So what that does is that it gives people the perspective that you're money conscious and that you don't last. That's a problem. But now there's another side to it. If you are doing it because of a vision you have, a personal vision you have for yourself, then I think it's justified. Like I personally wanted to understand what technology, how it applies in almost every industry vertical. So I had to move around, and with that, I became expensive. That's another side to it. You become expensive because when you get into a panel, sometimes paying you creates a hole in the balance sheet. But the thing is, it gives you speed, it gives you exposure. Your mates can't really do the things you do, not because they are dull, but because you've been exposed to a lot. So you need to be able to balance between your integrity in the market, which is focal, which is everything, and your exposure. So this is what I tell my people. You want to know more about banking, you want to know this, you want to know that, that's very good. But you have to strike a balance. You have to be able to make sure that if you're leaving a company, you're leaving that company after adding value. You've added so much value over time. And another thing is that the new employer of today, basically, okay, let me give you a story. This is very passionate about this. So when I was in UBA, I was heading the data center, and that data center manages about 16 operations. And suddenly our chairman, there's a board directive that UBA needs to shake off old stuff. So these guys were basically like people that came into the company decades ago, and they've been able to, they basically didn't come in with any certificates that make sense today. But it made sense when they came in. Things like diploma, all those things, yeah. So they started kind of taking them out. But the good thing is that they paid them well. They settled them like a severance package and all that. So when they came to my team and they wanted to take out some very key people, I told them, you can't. You just can't. And you know, you get to a point in the industry before you make this kind of statements that I want to make. So I told them, I would rather resign. You take this guy. Because there were very emotional personal issues that were around, and the guy was adding value. So one statement the HR person made, she said, if this guy is as skilled and important to the company like you paint it to be, why has he been here for 13 years? And I couldn't answer the question. You think it's loyalty, but that's not loyalty. They think you're redundant. They think you're redundant. It's either you are growing in a company, as in you're having a good vertical growth in a company, or you leave the company. I don't want to be misunderstood, but if you're working in my team, and today you used to do .NET, and it's .NET you're doing all the time, and it's .NET you're doing tomorrow, and it's .NET you're doing next tomorrow, then there's a problem. You have to be able to grow from just being a basic .NET person to an intermediate .NET person to an expert, and then you get into DevOps, and you start getting into higher things. So you have to balance it. If the company is not giving you what you want, you have to get it. Because the truth of the matter is, flip it the other side. When the company gets mad at you, they don't think. They fire you. And the only thing that retains you on the job is that you're relevant to the company. And the kind of companies that are coming up in Lagos today, they don't want excuses. The market is very, everybody's aggressive, so you just have to. So those are the things. So when you're moving around, you also have, and if you add value so much to a company, I bet you will grow, no matter what the politics is. Thank you.
So, Toyosi, right? Thank you very much. So we at Quadros already have identified, these gaps. We have put in place certain initiatives. We have something we call Bank the Unbanked. Bank the Unbanked. And the good thing is, the lady who is handling it is actually here. And we've seen gaps in, like I said earlier, making people understand the different concepts, saving and investing, where you still have people actually putting monies under their pillows and all of those very ancient behaviors. And then taking it a step further to the schools, the SMEs, entrepreneurs, trying to ensure that everybody, comes through and is able to decipher what exactly am I supposed to do with my money. And we already have something in-house where, aside the Bank the Unbanked, so we've created different initiatives trying to address different categories of clientele base. So you have the Bank the Unbanked, you have the school initiatives, we have what we are trying to also do with the campus ambassadorial programs, trying to reach out to those in the tertiary institutions. We have work sites where we're trying to identify firms or organizations to be able to give this literacy trainings and get people to understand to the direct debit mandate. So this allows you to set a direct debit instruction on your bank account, and on a specific date it moves funds from there into your investment. So different things just to ensure that people don't eat with their 10 fingers, save for the rainy day, and ensure that your future is truly secured. Thank you.
All right. So I think the first question was around investing, you know, in cryptocurrency for gain. Unfortunately, we're not a financial advisor, right? So I can't tell you, you know, to invest for gain or not, because the truth is, cryptocurrency as it is today compared to other stores of value is growing, but it's not, you know, at that stability place yet. And so there's a lot of fluctuation. If you are inexperienced, my advice to you would be, you know, to get on the Luno platform, you know, and use, so we have like the instant buy option, and then you have like an exchange, you know, where the more learned traders, you know, do their thing. But we do not provide financial advice. You know, what we do is make it easy for people to get crypto, and then if you want to trade with it or invest in it, you know, hold for a long time, which is what we see, you know, a lot here, then that's great. If you want to use it to make payments for, you know, products or services outside the country, you know, that happens smoothly. But unfortunately, can't provide financial advice because, I mean, we're not licensed to do that. Then, so the next question was about the coin options that we have. If you've been around the cryptocurrency space, one of the issues that we keep fighting and we fought in the media is things like pump and dump schemes. So it became very popular. People came out, really smart guys came out, created, you know, crypto coins on the blockchain, and people invested. I mean, they had loads of promises, white papers, you know, put all that stuff out, and people invested a lot of money, and boom, value dropped to zero. People disappeared with people's money. Because we pride ourselves in being a safe place to buy, we have a very stringent or tedious process for onboarding any cryptocurrency on the platform. Today we have just Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bitcoin is like the mother cryptocurrency. We have like a 5-step process that we take every coin through, you know, and then we have like really smart guys that have been in the space from basically the onset, always looking at everything. There's over 2,000 cryptocurrencies today. Just imagine over 2,000 currencies, you know, on one platform. We've picked two, which are basically the two that have a use case beyond just being an investment where you put in money and you don't sleep at night and you're waiting for it to rise and you sell for profit. That is just like a side benefit. You know, there's bigger things there, and for our vision, which is that upgrading money, the way people use money, the way people are able to move money around easily, we evaluate every coin out there, and then if it passes the test, then it gets on the platform. If not, we put it on hold until that happens. I'll give you an example of one of the things we check. Every cryptocurrency is basically code, right? And you have like a community or a team, you know, behind that. Now, we like to know who those people are. We'll even do a background check on them to see if these guys have been associated with like pump and dump schemes in the past, you know, people that we can trust. Because like someone mentioned, you know, like we're basically really big in Africa and beyond, and we have that reputation and we owe that duty to our customers to make sure that whatever you can access on our platform is not going to just disappear on you like that. So that is our thinking around it. And then we also have like a rich learning portal and blogs where we actually talk about this process in details. So yeah, I think you also mentioned the fees, send fees today, and how they've become high, and it's a very recent development. So every transaction, if you wanted to send money, say from your wallet in Luno to send cryptocurrency or Bitcoin from your wallet in Luno to a wallet in any other platform, it would have to go through the blockchain. And the fee there, which was really negligible before, maybe like 2 weeks ago, is what you call the miner's fee. So the guys that mine the cryptocurrency that use to spend all the hardware and are doing all the required tech work for the platform to work. Now, that fee increased on the blockchain. And so what happens is, it's like a queue, right? You get on a queue, you want to, let's say we all want to leave this room, you get on a queue and then there's that says you have to pay to pass. Now, if you want to get to the front of the queue and leave first, then you pay higher. So that's what happened, really. And it's a global situation, so it wasn't local to Luno. I think the other question, 2 questions, were tied to, how the coins that, how the process or why we don't have plenty pairs, and coins and all of that on the platform. And I answered that one. The final one is if we fund companies, that are willing to say spread the word and everything around cryptocurrency. Now, as I mentioned earlier, education around cryptocurrency is a huge focus for us, and it's one of our top strategies because we're trying to build out something that is long-term and is even beyond us. So we have different affiliate programs, for people that have platforms where we want to do this. And we also have events around where we also invite these people, and we have like systems that, like an affiliate kind of program, where you can benefit from driving a certain amount of traffic and all of that. So I guess we can talk, after the event.
Thank you. Okay, so I've got only 10 minutes, all right? 10 minutes. So in that 10 minutes, I just want you, one word you have for the tech business here today. One word. What is it going to be?
Continuity, because you need to keep building, keep evolving, keep changing as you keep seeing progress and change. I tell my team, never benchmark locally. Look at what is going on globally and use that to create your standard. And if we do that, we shall take Nigeria to the next level.
All right, so I think I'll just quickly say that we're at a time in life where tech is very key to solving every problem. We're using tech to solve what we've considered a money problem, and every business represented here, is using tech. So there is no giving up on tech. It only gets better, and just keep working it, and you would be valuable.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, so I'll just say in one word, all you need to do is keep it. So I think the greatest minds in the world are basically learners. So the more you learn, the more you can give. It's all about giving.
Always keep your users in mind. It's very, very important when building these products, to think about the people who are using it. Take, for instance, the business of logistics that I'm into. So our platform has a mobile application, and we all know those riders most of them are not educated in any way, but at least they can use a WhatsApp, they can use Facebook. So keep your users in mind, knowing the state of our economy and how, technology is not, a lot of people claim they know technology, but the acceptance of it is still not very, is not appreciated yet compared to the work that we do. So yes, keep your people in mind and build their needs. Don't just build a solution, but build their needs. Thank you.
All right, everybody, thank you. You can meet them afterwards and ask them all the questions that you have. All right, sorry if we didn't take your question, but I want to say on behalf of Business Day, thank you very much for coming here. My colleague Lena.
Hi, good evening, everyone. We want to really thank you for making out time from your busy schedules to come. As always, we always like to quickly talk about our business day and our offerings, like what we do. And we try to make sure that we're more than just a newspaper to being, let's say, like a 360 media house. So make sure you follow us on social media. And then we also want to make sure that you subscribe. So apart from following us, make sure you do write your name. We'll be offering a 2 weeks free subscription to everyone that attends this event. And also please tell other people we'll always have one event or the other every month. Have a very nice evening. Please, we'll have...
Yeah, so we'll have a group picture of all the panelists, all right, so thank you. So you come forward and the panelists first. Paparazzi, yeah.